Welcome back to Studio F on Fast Times Willy B. We'll be reviewing Rocky Balboa. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell.
Welcome back to Fast Times Willy B. I'm Willy B. I've got Keaton with me, and we're here. The end of the Rocky franchise. We are going to hop to 2006 now, getting a little closer to the present day.
Yeah.
And we're going to tackle Rocky Balboa, the sixth and final installment to the Rocky franchise. Now, you could argue there's 9 if you want to include the Creed movies.
Which I still have yet to watch.
But we're going to stop here with the 6, and maybe down the road we'll visit Creed.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we've got...
We're missing some people.
We are. We're missing... I mean, technically, she's still in it. Because of flashbacks.
Yeah.
But Talia Shire, in it in a way. But we got Sylvester Stallone. We got Burt Young. We've got Geraldine Hughes, who is a little fun callback, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
And then Antonio Tarver, the big one, obviously playing Mason the Lion Dixon, the
Right.
big bad of this movie. But we'll start with the good. And honestly, I like the idea, the direction of the emotional pull you get from finding out Adrian has passed on at the start of this movie. Now, I looked into it because I was wondering if it was one of those, like, oh, Talia Shire wasn't really on board with another movie, so they killed off her character, or if it was, like, and I did look it up, it was a mutual agreement. Sylvester Stallone thought it would be better emotional pull, better, like, you get to feel his loneliness and stuff if she was dead, and Talia Shire actually agreed with that decision, and she was okay with them making the movie without her.
Yeah, that's
so it wasn't like a, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, or oh, we don't want you to do this anymore. It was just like a kind of like, this is the story we want to go with, and it doesn't include you.
Right.
And she was okay with it, which I think is cool.
Yeah. I read the same thing because I was wondering that too. And like, some people, they're a little conflicted, it's an off-screen death.
Yeah.
The movie starts off with Rocky, visiting Adrian, her grave.
Yeah.
So it kind of leaves you at, oh shit.
Yeah.
I think it's
good.
I think it's a
hook.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
And he pretty much explains later on in the movie how she died, cancer.
Yeah. Some more things in the good. I like where we go from here. I like the little scene where we get him and Paulie visiting some of the sites on the anniversary.
Yeah.
It seemed like is what I picked up from it. And
really emotional.
Yes, it gets emotional too because Paulie's like, I wasn't good to her. And
you
like,
were, Yeah. They pull up at the ice rink,
which has been
and it's all tore down.
It's cool too seeing like all of these spots and how like
how they looked back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Now how it looks in like the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They pull up to the ice rink. It's all torn down. Rocky's just reminiscing, and Paulie's he's at the front of the van. He's like, Rocky, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
He's like, you treated her great. I treated her bad. Like, he feels bad.
Yeah.
Reminiscing.
Yeah. Very emotional scene.
Yeah.
Then, we find out there's a little bit of a disconnect between him and his son, which I don't feel is out of the realm of possibility when you're always living in that shadow, I guess.
Yeah. He's got big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And like, not that his son is wanting to be a boxer himself. No, he's trying to just live a normal life. He's, I'm pretty sure he probably has like a degree in something. He has a job, a job for some big corporation.
Yeah.
But all of his friends, his boss, they just know him as Rocky Balboa's son.
Yeah. Which,
that'd
be tough. That'd be tough.
Yeah, but it would be tough.
Yeah.
If you were in his position.
And then, something else from the good I want to throw out there. We get a call back to Little Marie, which I forgot to mention in our first movie review. I love that scene with him and Little Marie where he walks her home and we get that callback. I like that. He goes into a bar. She's the bartender. She's like, you remember me? And then we get a little relationship out of it.
Yes.
Not obviously.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, but like it's cool. It's a little.
He's like, not so much a father figure. He's like an older brother.
Yeah,
in a way
honestly.
to her. And it was funny. Yeah, when I was watching the movie, he goes in that bar and she's like, hey buddy, you want a drink? And he's like, maybe one.
Yeah.
And she goes, she was like, or no. He goes, have I met you before? And that's when it clicked. I was like, wait a minute, what if that was the girl he walked home in the first, and she said, I'm Marie, I'm the girl that you walked home, and I was like, That is a cool callback.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
That.
I agree.
That's really cool.
I liked it a lot,
and she grew a lot.
Yeah.
Compared to the first movie. I mean, she's a mom now. She has a son. She's matured.
Yeah.
Since that time.
And I like it too because we get kind of a relationship between him and Steps as well, the son.
Yeah.
They go pick out the dog together. He names it Punchy, which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a lot the callback to Marie. And Geraldine Hughes, I think it's a great addition.
Oh yeah.
I love that he's like running Adrian's restaurant. Like he has a restaurant that he named after Adrian. I like that aspect to it. He's just talking to his guests about fight memories, which is it's a very nostalgic film when you think about it.
Absolutely. I mean, it literally there's so many callbacks.
Yeah.
To Rocky 1.
Yeah. And then other goods obviously. I like the ESPN simulation. I think that's a fun little touch.
That is cool.
I think it's a fun touch.
Kind of shows you how technology has improved over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's now seeing a simulation of what this fight would look like.
Yeah. Rocky
that's something that you'd never seen anytime
Mason
before.
the Line Dixon. And then once he, agrees to a fight with him, we get his son very upset. He comes and he's like, "Can I talk to you outside?" And that's where you get, like, probably one of the most iconic lines in the franchise with the... It's not how hard you get hit; it's how hard you get hit and keep moving forward.
That's like towards the end of the movie, but that scene, that's another scene that made me cry out of this whole series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you never really see Rocky you never really hear Rocky yell, like, well, other than in Rocky 3, he's like, "I'm afraid."
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it was an emotional scene because he's talking to his son and he's getting really emotional, really loud.
Yeah.
And you've never seen him get like that with his son.
For sure.
He's really just laying it into him right there. And it's a really good father-son moment.
For
and
sure.
It just kind of makes you cry.
Yeah, and then I love how he ends with, "Don't forget to visit your mother." And then the next scene is him visiting Adrian, and he comes up and he's like, "I quit my job. I want to be with you."
Right.
I love that aspect to it. Other things in the good, I think the fight, once again, is in the good. We get some, like, fun, like... almost like PTSD type shots that are really cool in the fight too. I think Paulie and his son and Steps are all, it's cool. And then obviously Duke comes back too to help him and kind of be his manager. I think having them as the team was cool.
Yes. Well, and it's funny. I didn't know. I wasn't sure if Duke. And again, not to get mixed up with George Washington Duke, the original Duke from the first movies.
Tony Burton.
Yeah. I didn't know he was in this movie, and when I saw him, I was like, "Oh shoot!"
Yeah,
I kind of wish he was in it a little more, but it was still nice to see him.
I mean, his line before the training montage starts too, where he's like, "We've got to get those power punches because you don't got the speed, you don't got
right."
I love it, So it was cool seeing Tony Burton back too. This one I don't think is great by any means. I think it's a very good movie.
Better than 5.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but it's like almost very nostalgic.
Well, and here's the thing. It's a slow movie.
Yeah.
It's all narrative until like the last act, where the fight happens. It's all narrative. It's, just picking up the pieces, again, he runs into little Marie. He's helping her out with her life. He's reminiscing around Philly, he's again with his son, kind of like in Rocky 5, he's just still trying to have a relationship with his son, but it's hard. His son is just kind of, his son's in his shadow. Yeah. So he kind of has this love-hate with his dad. Yeah. He loves him, but at the same time, it's like he wants to avoid him because he's trying to live his own life. Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, it's a movie that's mostly based on narrative. It's like you just want to see what happens to Rocky. Yeah. But I think it's good. I think it's great.
It's definitely good. I also love the ending where, after the fight where he's like, the beast is out of me.
Yeah.
Like, I just needed one more.
Yeah.
I just needed to do one more thing that he loved. I love the scene, too, where he's trying to get his license and they decline him. And then he has that little, like, how do you have the right to stop me from what I want to do?
Right. What's that official paper that was written down the street? And he goes, that was the Bill of Rights. He's like, yeah, where are my rights? Like,
and then he's like, doesn't that give me the right to be happy? He's like, that's the pursuit of happiness.
Yes,
like...
yes. It was kind of funny, but it was like, again, one of those moments. It's like, yeah, where is
for sure.
Yeah, I just, again, great movie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other things that are, again, just
I
in
think
the good.
Technically wise, or on the technical side, once again, I think the direction, camera work, cinematography, all of that's pretty good. The set design, some minor things too with the set design, like I like the champ's house. I like the bar that his son's sitting in while they're watching the ESPN simulation.
Yeah.
I like Adrian's restaurant. Like just the set design and a lot of the places we get to visit in this is really well done as well.
And, one thing that's cool about the final fight is it's really not like this spectacle that you get in the first 4 movies.
Yeah.
With the montages and the just crazy music. It does pick up towards the end of the fight, but when it starts out, like when I was watching this, I mean, I literally watched it last night, Rocky 6, it felt like you were watching a real boxing match at first, like, the way they had the, the backdrops and the simulations and stuff, showing all, like, kind of like the stats and whatnot. I was like, I literally feel like I'm watching a boxing match. Yeah. It was cool, though. It was a nice change.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like the old Rocky, though, which, that's fine.
For sure.
It's 2006.
Yeah.
Compared to what was it, 1976? I mean,
Yeah.
So it was a nice change of pace. And again, like you said, once it gets later on in the fight, Rocky's like, what is he, like 60 in this movie?
Probably.
Like
they say 50s.
Like late 50s maybe.
He was born in 48, so he'd been 58 when this movie came out.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah. So.
That's Stallone. I don't know what Rocky's birth year is.
Right.
I can assume he's 58.
Yeah.
Probably pretty close.
Right. So he's an old man.
Yeah.
So he's getting knocked down a few times, and the thing I thought was cool, much like at the end fight in Rocky 5, he's kind of getting these flashback moments, these snippet sequences. That happens again.
Yeah, the PTSD
in this. The PTSD. Yeah. He's getting these flashes of all these old fights, and Mick's like yelling at him to get back up.
Yeah.
And like you said, I love that inner monologue he has with himself, where he's like, "Remember what you told the kid."
Yeah.
Get up.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the whole line was. If you can't.
Yeah. It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you get hit and you keep moving.
Exactly.
Forward.
Yeah, I loved that inner monologue, and he gets up, and again. It's an equal fight. One's not beating the shit out of the other. It's pretty equal.
Yeah.
And he gets back up, and Dixon's like, "You're one crazy old man." He's like, "Yeah, you'll get there someday."
Yeah. Yep.
That's so good.
Yeah, I love it. Just another. It's a good finish to the Rocky story for sure.
Absolutely.
Anything else in the good?
I'd say that's about it. I feel like we covered most of that.
So I don't have anything in the bad.
Probably some of the meh.
I'll throw it in the meh because it kind of comes around to itself. Mm-hmm. The girl in the bar, that's not Marie.
She's like, hey, can you buy us around? And
I don't think her acting was good.
Yeah.
But I do like, I guess, the come around where you see her watching the fight and she like says somebody like shut up, like when they say I hope he loses. It was the
guy she was talking to.
Yeah.
And Rocky, when she asked, "Hey, can you buy us around?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Hey, don't waste your time with that guy." And then she blows up. She's like, "You ain't shit now."
What makes you think you're better than me? I just it was never a scene I really liked.
That's understandable.
I guess it definitely shows Philadelphia.
That's what I mean. It shows you the cultural change of Philadelphia throughout the years. And like just kind of seeing her turn around at the end, that same guy who she was messing around with, he was like, "I hope he gets his face kicked in or something." Yeah. And she's like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
So she's kind of sticking up for him
for
now.
Sure.
Yeah.
The other man I have is I wish he won.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that they did something different, like, the protagonist didn't win just like the first movie.
I was going to say, it's kind of like the first movie. They ended it the way they started it. I think it's
just because, God, Mason Dixon was such a douche. Like,
he was, yeah.
He was just a character you didn't want to see win. And, like, at least if Apollo won, like, especially as the movies go on, you start loving Apollo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah. So this one is just like, man, I really didn't like Mason Dixon. Like... he's written that way. You're written not to like him. Yeah,
exactly.
But it makes
nothing against his actor.
No,
That's just
for sure.
His character.
I thought Antonio Tarver did fine.
Yeah.
it's his character, and he's written to not be likable.
Right.
But man, I really wish Rocky won that final fight.
I get that.
Because it would be cool if that guy was 33-1 and a 58-year-old man was his one blemish.
I get it. Honestly, either way, if he won or just lost by decision. I mean,
and I
thought it was
it's
good
about
either
him
way.
getting the beast out, and But that's just me being selfish.
I get it. Yeah, you want to see your hero win. You're like, no, I'm in it.
Yeah,
I want to see him win. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's really it. There's nothing major to complain about with this movie. Like I said, it's a pretty good movie.
I think it's a solid movie.
Yeah. So hop over to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with Rocky Balboa, and what do you give it out of 10?
Yeah, like I said, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. Probably on the lower end for me. Mm-hmm. It's a step above Rocky 5. Rocky 5 is the lowest.
Yeah.
But when I say that, though, I'm not, again, like I said, I enjoyed Rocky 5. Mm-hmm. So that means I enjoyed this movie a little more.
Yeah.
So I would say for this movie, I'd just give it a solid 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
I thought it was good.
Okay.
It was a good send-off.
Yeah.
For Rocky, well, until they made the Creed movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's anything earth-shattering, but it is definitely nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch if you're a fan of the Rocky franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie.
Absolutely.
And it's never one that I'm mad I rewatch either. I think it's kind of in the same boat as Rocky 5 for me, as it doesn't have as much replay value as the first 4 have.
It's not as big of a spectacle. Again, it's depressing.
It is.
It's a very depressing movie, but it's in a good way.
Yeah. But it is. It's pretty well written.
Yeah.
You get you get a fun little fight at the end. You get some
Yeah.
character arc between him and his son. You get Lil Marie back, so it's still definitely worth the watch. And
Absolutely.
like you said, it's a good send off. That'll do it for Rocky Balboa. Keaton, thank you for tackling this entire franchise with me.
Absolutely. I had a blast.
Yes,
honestly, I had so much fun.
It's one of the best out there, in my opinion.
And honestly, you got me. You got me watching those last 3 movies a lot quicker than I was planning. It was probably going to be another month before I actually watched the rest of them. But then you asked me, you were like, "Hey, you want to do all the Rocky movies with me?" And I went, "Yeah, I just got to finish the last 3." And you were like, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you ended up enjoying them as much as I do.
Absolutely.
I hope you guys love these movies as much as we do. But let us know in the comments what you think of the Rocky franchise 1 through Balboa. Let us know. But if you like what you're watching, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. All of it would be appreciated. And we talk to you all soon. Peace.